Thank you for joining us live with the Miami's Community News, and we have some great guests today. Frank Calderon from the Miami-Dade Solid Waste Department and Gaby Fonseca. Thank you for joining us from Miami-Dade Solid Waste. Frank, we got some great news to announce to the public. Let's hear it.
Yes, finally. We unveiled our first ever electric powered waste collection vehicle. We did it last week, Monday.
And we have a video. Julian, if you could put it up, and then we're gonna watch it, and we'll be right back to you folks.
This is your Miami-Dade Minute.
This is pretty exciting. We've been working hard to bring this new vehicle into our fleet. This new waste collection truck will be powered by the very waste it collects. So we're closing the loop on waste.
We will be the first and only waste organization in the country to be using the electricity we make from the county's waste stream at our resource recovery facility to power and recharge this vehicle. This is a better choice for the environment than traditional diesel, over traditional diesel and even natural gas. This is what we mean when we say nothing goes to waste, which is our campaign motto here in the county of trying to do everything we possibly can with our waste stream.
We eventually hope to make the switch for most, if not all, of the county fleet to go electric. This truck is a major step forward in our commitment to the county's climate action strategy to reduce emissions and electrify our fleet.
Well, so there we are. Tell us about the vehicle, Frank.
So, well, it's going to be powered by electricity. The interesting thing is that we believe it's the first one in the U.S. that's not just electrical power, because there are other areas where they do have electric powered waste collection vehicles, but it's going to be the first one that's going to be powered by the actual waste that it picks up.
So, and Gaby, so when the truck goes to bed at night over there at the facility, a plug's going to go from the building to where? Right into the truck.
Right into the truck, and it's going to charge overnight. So the truck can hold up to 21,800 pounds of waste that is going to be incinerated in our Doral facility, recovery facility, and then it's going to be charged at night with the same waste it collected during the day. So it's really cool.
They're going to dump it in there. It's going to fuel it up.
Almost like Back in the Future. Or Back to the Future. Not as direct.
They used a banana peel one, I think, if I remember
yes,
right.
But not as directly as that. But the waste gets incinerated, and they make electricity out of it, and bingo presto, they're going to use it to charge the trucks.
So how many pounds go into the truck?
It can go 21,800 pounds of waste.
So 20,000 plus pounds of garbage there. It's going to get incinerated, turn the turbines, the steam, the turbines, electricity, and you're going to charge.
Yes, and by the way, the amount of waste that it carries, it can charge about 16 or 17 other trucks itself, plus 17 trucks.
That one truckload.
16. Yes, the one truckload.
And so, inquiring minds want to know, how long does that full charge last?
About a day. It gives it enough to be able to complete a route during the day.
That is amazing that's happening here. I don't know, for some reason I'm excited. I think a lot of people are excited, right, Gaby?
Yes, we are really excited, and the truck has a lot of fun facts. For example, the span of life is from 7 to 8 years. It also, for example, it reduces noise. So a lot of people in the morning, they wait to hear the truck to take out their green garbage out. But this time it's not going to be like that. You have to leave it out by 7 a.m. on your date of service because it's no noise. So it also, there's not going to be any like oil change quarterly. Is going only to be once a year. So that's really cool.
So Frank, people like myself, when we hear the truck, we've gotten used to it. We know when it's coming, and we know it's going that way. So we hear it across the street.
Put the cart. Yeah, that's not going to happen anymore.
My son has an electric vehicle for a couple of years, and he was backing up, and I'm waiting to hear a car. No, you don't hear it at all. It's an amazing process.
You might hear like a little whiny noise, or you might hear when the arm goes up, with the cart and all that. But
and when is this truck going to have some siblings?
We don't know yet. We don't know. It's kind of like married couples that have the first kid. When are they going to have?
What college?
When are you going to have kids? When are you
going to have? What college they going to?
When are you going? And then you have the first kid. When are you going to have your siblings? We don't know yet, but we do plan to get more.
That's amazing. All right. And the older trucks, all right? How old are the older trucks? The ones that are they on propane? What are they on?
Most of our trucks are diesel. We do have some that are compressed natural gas. One of the issues that we had with that was that there just aren't a lot of fueling facilities for compressed natural gas. But the other thing too is that long term, we saw that everything's moving towards electric. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted it. We got this first one, and just to see how it works within our system and see how it works in general. Feedback report to everybody so everybody knows how it operates, that sort of thing. But we do plan to get more electrics, and my department director's stated goal or objective is eventually to have a fleet of all electric vehicles and have them all charged up at the resources recovery facility so that they're basically powering themselves from the very waste that they pick up.
That's a good thing to do. I mean, and from a futuristic point, right, about what life is going to look like. But Gabby, tell us what it looks like, the inside of that truck, because we want to know what a couple $100,000 buys. What's it look like?
So, well, inside it just looks like a regular truck, but what the cool thing about it is that outside it has a box that you just connected to the power. So another cool feature about this truck is that when the truck driver presses the brake, it partially charges. So while you press the brake. So that's really cool.
Wait, say that again. When you press the brake,
When you press the brake, it partially charges
the truck.
the truck.
Yes. See,
How does that work?
Something that a lot of people don't know, and I've read a little bit. I'm not an engineer, but at this department, to a lesser degree, my previous department with water and sewer, there were a lot of engineers, so I was around them a lot, and I learned a lot, picked up a lot from them. From what I read, is that basically, from an engineering perspective, every time you hit the brakes on your car, it's lost energy. You wasted energy to bring the car up to that speed, and now you're hitting the brakes, and you're losing that energy in essence. With electric trucks, when you hit the brakes, I don't know exactly how the mechanism behind it, but I know that it recaptures some of that lost energy to recharge the battery a bit. Now, it's not enough to recharge the battery completely, but it gives it a charge so that the truck could keep going during the day.
That is amazing. So you're going to charge it at night with the 20,000 pounds of garbage, all right? And it's going to get recycled right into the vehicle, all right? And it's going to go out and pick up some more, bring it over there. How many, I know I go crazy with these facts, how many truckloads a day do you think you have out over there? More or
How many
less.
truckloads a day? Oh, at the resource recovery. Well, it's not used only by us. That's a tough question. I know that they're picking up half the homes during the day. So we have about 350,000, so about 170 some odd thousand that they pick up during the course of a day. And about 1,100 per route, and it gets filled up about halfway through the route. So let's
We're
say
watching him doing the math in his head.
yeah, this is not.
It's a lot.
550 homes roughly fills the truck up. If just estimating. I don't know. I'd have to sit down and actually calculate.
So
it to figure
550
out.
times 20 times
or 100. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have
lot.
to sit down and calculate. It's a lot.
When
yeah.
you said that facility is also used by other companies,
Yes, by other private waste haulers, they'll use.
they
it.
pick up stuff
They'll
or they
pick
drop
up
off
stuff and they'll drop it off. Well, they'll drop it off there. And also some of the I believe I've seen trucks there from City of Miami, City of Hialeah, for example.
And you incinerate that.
And we incinerate all that.
Oh,
yes.
no kidding.
Yes.
So you get to charge them, and then we get to use it as fuel.
Yes, and I should
We
note
like that, Gabby.
I love it.
The total
Yes.
on an annual basis that we manage there is about 1.8 million tons, and I think we actually incinerate about 1.1 million tons. And that's all waste. That's not just what we collect, but the
That's
people
tons,
that bring it in.
not pounds.
Tons,
Tons.
yes.
Yeah.
So 1.1, doing the math, 1.1 million times 2,000, I don't know off the top of my head, but it's a lot.
So let's talk, Gabby, about the green carts. All right, they're out. There's 340,000 homes get serviced twice a week. Right.
Correct.
So tell us about the carts. What people can put in it, or what they should put in or should not put in.
Okay, so what they can put in is their waste from their kitchen, waste from their bathrooms. What they cannot put in is electronics. They cannot put batteries. They cannot put old paint. For that, you can take it to our home chemical centers. for the electronics or the chemicals. For electronics or their white goods, they can take it to one of our trash and recycling centers. We have 13 throughout the county, and they can go online to miami-dade.gov/solid waste to see which facility is closer to them.
And so the website is really easy to work. And if somebody says, I don't want to go to a website, I want to speak to a real life person, they can do what?
They can call 311, and we can help them in anything that they need.
So Frank, let's go on to how many truck drivers there are in solid waste, more or less.
I want to say it's about 100 plus because that's the number of trucks we have. I know that we never have enough drivers and never seem to have enough drivers. We're able to, fortunately, we've been able to pick up waste. We've had issues, earlier this year, especially, shortly after the holidays, where we had to go out and if we didn't finish Tuesday, we had to go out on Wednesday, which we don't normally do. But yeah, we right now we can always use more drivers, but right now I think we're in decent shape.
And if somebody can if they're looking for a job, they go to miami-dade.gov jobs.
/jobs, yes.
And they can look for the department.
And we do have openings from time to time, so it's something, if you're very interested in that position specifically, to just check from time to time for waste truck driver. That's the name of the job.
And in order to the minimum experiences, they have to have their commercial driver's license.
They have to have a CDL. I think they ask for 1 or 2 years of experience driving, but they have to have a CDL, yeah.
So I want to know, is there going to be a struggle over who gets to drive the electric vehicle, the electric tractor?
They've already assigned a driver to it, and I don't know how,
I'm coming home, I'm going to show Mom what I'm driving today. So, but inside, so you have the driver there, controls, they have the arm that goes out, they pick it up, they put it into the truck, they put it back down. And so it's a joystick and lots of mirrors and cameras so they can see, what's going on. So the big question is, since it's battery operated, is what should people do with all their old batteries, and what's going to happen to the several million big batteries that are in trucks and cars? I see Tesla just delivered 340,000 cars to people just in this last quarter. What happens to those in 5 years and 10 years from now?
That is a good question. At some point, I believe they need to be replaced, usually at a dealership. I don't know. I'm guessing that at some point you're going to have mechanics that specialize outside of dealerships that specialize in doing these. They are responsible for making sure that it gets properly disposed of or recycled.
So what do you do? So what's going to happen to it when it's done properly?
That is a good question. I'm not familiar with the battery recycling process, but yeah, I mean, it needs to be at a minimum. It needs to be handled properly. You can't just throw it out in your regular green cart or the regular garbage.
And
that's for
so
sure.
many things are operated by batteries nowadays. Generally speaking, what's a really good way for somebody, if they're very conscious about it, what's the best way for them to dispose of batteries?
So for the best way is to take them to like I said before, to one of our home chemical centers. They can be reused or they can be broken down properly so it doesn't harm the environment.
And Frank, you're so right. It's just so much easier for somebody to throw it right into the garbage. But we don't want people to do that.
A lot of issues can happen. One of the big ones that can really happen, and we've had happen in the past, is it can cause a fire. And we have had trucks before that caught fire. Fortunately, nobody got hurt, but we have had trucks catch fire before because somebody put in an old lithium battery. I should add, to piggyback on what Gabby said, it's not just our home chemical collection centers accept batteries, but there may be private retail stores. I know that there's a couple battery stores that just sell batteries, believe it or not. Ask, of course, don't just show up with 5 pounds of batteries. Hey, I got these, take them. Ask first, and a lot of these places do tend to take these items, but ask first.
For the person that's really into the environment, if they just keep a little box there, they throw the batteries in there, and when it gets a big enough thing, then they can say, okay, where's the best place to
Home
to
chemical
do that?
collection center. But be careful though when you place them like that. You send a box. Be careful. Try not to let them touch, because that can cause some problems. Yeah, that can cause problems.
So let's last week I was here with James Richards. We were talking about what people should do in their yards prior to a hurricane coming. Since then, there was this massive, terrible storm, and my heart goes out to those people. But the hurricane season is not over, all right? and I think it's the perfect
There's
example.
actually a couple of disturbances out there that have potential for development.
Yeah, and you know, we were all praying that those experts, meteorologists, would be wrong. Nah, so far they're on track. But let's talk about in our yards, Gabby. What should somebody do now? There's this break in the weather, right? And the storm can go. We know the season goes through the end of November, so we still have 2 full months left,
Yeah.
or more or less, of that. What can they do with their yard debris and the trees that may fall on their houses?
Well, what they can do, and the most important to do, is to pick up their old debris, and they can make an appointment with their boggy appointment, and they can call to 311 again, and they can schedule their appointment, and we're gonna let them know a specific day that we're gonna come out, which is better than the system that we have before, which is it was from, I believe, 1 to 10 days between that time frame, but now we give them a specific date.
And Frank, that people should call ahead of time before they take their stuff and put it out.
Yes, a good idea. They can also place the request online now, Miami-Dade.gov/bulky waste.
And you put your house address in there, and they show the
It'll
house.
tell you how many
right?
pickups you have if you
And
still
they
have
tell
room.
everything about it, where you're gonna put the trash, et cetera. So does somebody from the county go by first before the truck goes out, or is that the first stop?
They usually do. They'll check. One of the things that they'll do is to check to see if you called that bulky request, and that's why we tell people call first, or do it online. Set the appointment first, then put the stuff out. And now with the appointment system, you should not set stuff out there. I think like 3 days before, 3 days or less before. But more than that, you shouldn't. That's the type of thing that our enforcement officers are looking
And
for.
so we now know that these storms, it's 50 to 80 miles an hour, can take that debris if it's not picked up, going to blow it around the neighborhood.
Our crews, every time that when something's bearing down on us like that, our crews work diligently to pick up as many piles as they can. At some point, they basically close out the system where you can't make set a new appointment. But yeah, our crews, whenever we know that something's coming, our crews go out there and they are working hard to get that stuff out.
And so it's important for people, if you're going to cut the trees, don't wait till the day before the storm is there.
Yeah, no.
Do it a couple weeks ahead of time. Get it all trimmed. Call the county 311 or go to Miami-Dade.gov and they'll walk it through. Let's talk about illegal dumping. All right. As we discussed before, the county has cameras, hidden cameras.
Oh, yeah.
They catch people, and it's all the time. Unfortunately, on one of our streets where we live, somebody left a 25-foot boat. I know. It's just unbelievable that people would do that. And so I hope the bad guys get caught, all right? So you realize they dumped it there, which had to take a couple guys, to do
Yeah,
that,
that's not,
right?
that's
So
not
now,
small.
yeah, so now the counties, they send an inspector to go out. Maybe they'll send the cops to go out. Then they have to send a truck with probably 2, 3, 4 guys to be able to take this, and then take it to, where do they take that boat?
The truck will probably go to the South Dade landfill. I don't think that can be incinerated. I mean, the boat probably can't be incinerated.
And if
Depends on the
somebody
materials.
and if somebody has an old boat, it's sitting in their driveway, Gabby, no motor on it, there's nothing, all right, where can they take it? Same place?
The same place, correct. They can take it to one of our TRCs, which is a trash and recycling center.
Well,
If anything,
not the TRCs, but they could take it to the landfill.
they can take it to one of our landfills.
And to make sure they could call 311, all right,
They can always, the 311 will tell them. If it's a really small, I'm talking like those little paddle boats, they might accept them at TRCs, but call 311 to be sure. But usually the bigger boats, you do have to take it to landfill.
The cost to the environment and to the county taxpayers for the stuff that's thrown on the side of the road, I mean, it's a lot of money. And considering that it's already in a vehicle, right? It's already there to go that extra 5 miles, all right, to dump it. And I realize how much money it's going to cost to take care of that boat. So I hope there's some ID hidden somewhere, and the cops get it. 118th Avenue, 55th Street. And it's a favorite spot because part of it's hidden. But most of the people, I hope that they get caught, all right? And it doesn't look good, right? Let's talk about the big dumps that happen in unincorporated Dade County in the Homestead area. They just dump it on the side of the road, which is, in most cases, there's a question about whether it's the county or the private property owner.
Yeah, as long as if it's in the public right of way, then it's the county. If it falls on private property, then then unfortunately falls on the owner.
Yeah. If I was out there, I'm going, okay, which way should I push it? Push it out that way or push it out?
If it's close, I guess maybe you can do that.
So, well, let's look at what does trash garbage collection look like in 5 and 10 years from now?
That is a good question, and I haven't really. I mean, we don't foresee it changing a lot. I think the biggest change you're going to see is alternative fuel vehicles, beginning with electric. See more of those. I don't know if in 5 to maybe in 10 years we will have converted most of our fleet. Maybe in 5 years, I don't know that we'll have most of our fleet yet. A lot of it depends on one of the vehicles. Once they end their useful life, then we have to start looking for new ones. And it's when we start looking for the new ones, we're going to be looking more at electric, and especially if if everything goes well with this one. But even then, you have to consider the fact that it's an emerging technology, and it's getting better all the time. It's
Yes.
getting better all the time. So
And so that's why I'm looking at the solar panel. There's so many questions that I have of myself. Okay, how long does it take to pay for them? All right, and what about the new stuff that's going to come out in a day, a week, a month, or 2 months, or 5 years from now?
yeah, that's a big
And
one.
so, and that's what stops so many, myself included, from moving forward. I know there's a lot of new fueling charging stations that are going to be put up, but for people our age, we want on 4 corners, we want gas stations, all right? So we can be silly and forget, to fill up. So, again, if somebody wants to see some videos about solid waste, where can they go?
We are part of the Miami-Dade TV YouTube channel. We have, I think, our own playlist for solid waste, so we have a lot of videos on it. I can't tell you off the top of my head how many, but I know it's at least a few dozen. So yeah, Miami-Dade TV, their YouTube channel, and just look for the solid waste playlist.
Right. And lots of stuff there. They have walkthroughs, right? And they can go through how everything is created out there. So, Frank, how long you been with the department?
I've been with the department since 2009, the year my son was born.
Okay. And Gabby?
Well, I've been with the department for about 6 months.
Okay. And this is, in prior days, you were watching, and today you're here, and you're doing a wonderful job. Beautiful smile.
Thank
we
you
hope
so
to
much.
have you back.
Thank you
Again,
so much,
You want to
Evan.
show some of this?
Oh, so this is our electric truck fact sheet. And here you have a picture of the truck. And one of my favorites fun fact about the truck is that it charges in 120 minutes. So in 2 hours.
No kidding.
It can. I
Yes.
think that's the fast charge, but yeah. I think,
Wow, that's
because I
amazing.
think there's
It
regular
is.
charge and then there's fast charge, and I believe it can charge up in 2 hours, if I'm not mistaken.
That's terrific. My brother Grant test drives cars, all right? And so
Oh, yeah, that's right.
frequently
Nice
he
job.
gets yeah. He goes from the smallest to the really
Well, that's
crazy
the thing,
ones.
yeah.
I have the hardest time just getting used to where the radio is on my car, much as something new. So if somebody can go online at Miami-Dade, find out the fun facts about this truck. Also, can we announce where it's going to be tomorrow morning?
It is going to be at Casa Cuba for the breakfast
All right.
with, I think, with PBS.
PBS. Now, right outside there's going to be the brand new electric collection truck. All right.
Correct.
Other people sometimes would call it a
Garbage truck.
garbage truck. The collection truck is a nice name and very sanitized. It's
Correct.
terrific. So if somebody's in the neighborhood, they can stop by. It'll be right on the street. You won't miss it. And it's brand new. And I think it's wonderful that the county and the leaders have said, let's go in that direction. And it inspires people throughout the county to say, hey, this is what they're doing. Maybe there's some things that we can do. And it starts with the little kids out there not littering, putting them in the right bag to throw out. Make sure you don't put plastic bags, those little
In the
plastic bags.
recycling,
By the way, why shouldn't people put plastic bags into the blue carts?
Because they end up, the same reason you don't want to put hair down your drain, especially long hair. It gets wrapped up in stuff, and then it just gums up the works.
If you took one of those little plastic bags from a store and you tied it up, and you could connect it for 10 feet long with knots in there, that is strong. It's really strong, right? And one of the things that I've learned from Jean Massey, Jean Marie Massey, is you can tell the drugstore, I don't need a bag, all right? I do that frequently because I know it's going to sit around my house for a year and then eventually, so just don't bring it into that environment because it turns into like almost string, right? And it wraps up.
It's
They have
wrapped
to
up
stop
on the
machines.
equipment that they use at the recycling facility, at the MRF, the material recovery facility, where they process the stuff. It goes through a long series of conveyor belts. I mean, it's like maybe miles, I don't know. Long series of conveyor belts, and just it gets trapped in the machinery of the conveyor belt, and just bag after bag after bag. They have to actually stop their plant every few hours just to dig those bags out.
So, Gabby, if somebody's got some plastic bags, which cans should they put them in?
So if they have plastic bags, I would say reuse them. You can take it back to your grocery store.
Wow.
And if anything, you can put them in the green cart.
So lots of places out of my wife does most
My
of the
wife
shopping.
takes
Right.
them all back to the grocery
Right.
store, yeah.
So we, by the way, now have the it's cloth bags, all right, with the little cardboard on the bottom that moves up. And of course, when we fill those things, Frank, I know you probably do the same. I'm going to carry all those bags in at the same time.
Hey, that's like part of the man club. You got to make it all of it in one trip. I don't care if you just if you're buying for like a family of 500 or something, you got to make it.
It's
in
a
one
guy
trip.
thing. What can I say? And if you're ever feeling down low, go to Home Depot, just walk around and then carry the bags.
There you go.
Thank you very much for joining us, Frank. Gabby, thank you very much
My
for being here.
pleasure.
Folks, thank you
Having
for
us.
joining us. And